Welcome into the Cowboys Report, presented today by Manscaped. It is Halloween season, and you don't want to be hairy where it counts. Get their top-of-the-line men's grooming products for 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code COWBOYS over at manscaped.com. All right, we got some conflicting Ezekiel Elliott injury news. First, Clarence Hill says it's a torn MCL. That's been disputed now as well, so we're going to break down exactly what's going on here with Ezekiel. There is an injury, but the severity remains very much up in the air. This is exactly why you guys subscribe, by the way, for Cowboys news, rumors, which is a little bit of both, I guess, today. Injury rumor is very rare. Free videos every single day. We'll be back live again on Sunday for the Cowboys Report against the Chicago Bears. If you haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe. YouTube.com/CowboysTV. All right, let's break down what happened here. So Ezekiel Elliott did injure his knee in some capacity on that run against the Detroit Lions. I'm sure we all saw it. We were all watching the game. He kind of dives right in and took on the contact. We didn't need to take on the contact, by the way. The knee kind of gets pushed back. I thought it was a hyperextension at first. He sits out a couple plays. They tend to him medically. He does check back in the game. Now, adrenaline's a hell of a drug, and Zeke will tell you that knee's feeling a little bit different today. Clarence Hill reports of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram that Zeke has a grade 2 MCL sprain and a thigh bruise. It's also worth mentioning, by the way, that a grade 2 sprain is by definition a partial tear. That's what the grade 2 designation means. So it's not a full-fledged MCL tear. It's a partial one. That's typically a 2 to 4 week injury. So that would fit with a miss this game, miss the bye, then or have the bye, then potentially be good to go. But then Michael Gehlken, within like a half hour, says this, that there is no thigh bruise or MCL sprain for Ezekiel Elliott, that he's fine from that perspective, that he's not in any type of severe injury from that standpoint, that there isn't the grade 2 MCL sprain or the thigh bruise. Now, Gehlken didn't say what the injury was. Mike McCarthy's playing things a little bit close to the vest. But I also do want to make this point pretty clear. The Cowboys have never been afraid to lie about injuries. And specific examples, Zeke's injury last year. In the end, your reports are only as good as your sources. Now, Gehlken don't miss, so I kind of lean towards him. But Cowboys swore up and down all year long last year that, hey, there's no tear, there's no tear, there's no tear. He's fine, there's no PCL injury. But there was, and Zeke played through it and gutted through it and wasn't as effective as a result. We'll spend some more time on this, but who do you believe? H for Clarence Hill, G for Michael Gehlken. It's a source off here. Let me know in the comments section right now. Regardless of how much time Zeke misses, if any, if he's a bit more limited or not, Tony Pollard is the next man up. Now, we've seen Zeke get a lesser workload last week. I think that was in part because of the injury. Tony Pollard, make no mistake, is in line for probably a similar 60-40 rep, even in the event Zeke ends up playing against the Chicago Bears. He's been more dynamic, more explosive, a much bigger play threat, which for a Cowboys offense that doesn't have that many explosive plays, in large part because of how teams defend them when they have Dak Prescott in there, which is what the modern-day defense is becoming. That's, you got to adjust to it. That's your job as an offensive coaching staff and scheme and personnel, etc. Pollard's big plays on the ground and the one through the air on the toss play is rather impactful. So what is your panic level over the Ezekiel Elliott injury? Scale this for me from 1 to 10. 1, you're not worried at all. He's fine. 10 being you're very concerned. Sound off in the comments right now. As it relates specifically to this week's game against the Chicago Bears, the Cowboys and Zeke himself have not ruled him out against the Bears, but there is a very good chance he does not end up playing. Elliott is a very tough football player, as you pretty much have to be to play running back in the NFL. You take a beating at that position. Elliott thinks, and he said this at his press conference today, which clearly he's looking at a press conference, right? It's not season ending. Elliott says he thinks it would be soft to skip the game and then have the bye and recover. I would also argue this. It is not about a middle of the season game in late October. It is about how you are feeling in December, about January. That is very impactful and important because we saw Zeke not be as good last year. This is not a season-ending injury based on every report out there. We'll see if Gehlken or Hill end up being right. But the Cowboys also lie about injuries all the time. They do it all the time. They are not a truthful football team when it comes to injuries. They will downplay them constantly. And I think that has to be viewed as a possibility here for the Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott. It is Halloween, and if you want to make your Halloweeny looking great, turn it into a king-size candy bar. It's fun. Yeah, you guys know what I mean there. Use Manscaped. The Performance Package is the best offer that they have. Lawnmower 4.0, the most comfortable boxers known to mankind. The Weed Whacker, Ball Toner, Ball Conditioner. Promo code COWBOYS gets you 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. We'll put that link in the comments section and in the description. Manscaped.com, promo code Cowboys. Check it out today. You will not regret it. It's a big reason why I have baby Olivia. With Zeke at least a little bit banged up at this point, here's where things sit up front in the running back room. Ezekiel Elliott may or may not play. Tony Pollard is a key piece there. Rico Dowdle is on IR, not eligible to return, so we'll wait and see on that front. And then there would be Malik Davis, who we'll spend some more time on. I do think the bye week is a big consideration here. Cowboys picked on the Bears in Week 8. Then they have their bye. So I think it is at least tempting to go, you know what? We can probably beat the Bears. We're a heavy, like a touchdown plus favorite against Chicago. We've got Tony Pollard. Let's give Zeke 2 weeks off and get that knee closer to being healthy as opposed to trying to have him grit and gut through it and just not be as effective when we really need our closer, our battering ram, the smash to the Tony Pollard's dash in November, December, and January, and potentially beyond. What is your one-word reaction to the Ezekiel Elliott injury? Drop one word only in the comment section for me right now. From an overarching perspective, whether it's a full-fledged MCL sprain or something much more lighter and just like a deep bruise or a hyperextension or whatever, my one word is troubling. We did the whole off-season Zeke, especially with his life stuff, which I'm sure I buy that. I was not worried about Zeke being in good shape this offseason. I was not worried about Zeke playing well in September. He's done, I think, a solid job despite the yards per carry being a bit down this year. My concern for Zeke this year has been the injury history. He has had a very heavy workload, even dating back to Ohio State. And there is a shelf life for every running back that is much shorter than most positions in the NFL. The injuries for Zeke have been my concern. Can he actually stay healthy? Can he remain out there, active, participating, and close to 100% as you could be at that position in the NFL? The injuries have been a troubling part of Zeke's recent history. I think it's a big reason why he struggled down the stretch last year. At least wasn't as effective. Plus, of course, the whole line not nearly being that good. So another knee injury on a play he could have easily avoided the contact is concerning as far as I'm concerned. I guess that was concerned twice there. One note here on Malik Davis, by the way. The Cowboys do have an open, active roster spot. It's probably going to go to Malik Davis, especially in light of the Jonathan Hankins trade, or an offensive lineman, since you've got Matt Farniok now on IR. Davis, I believe, does have at least one more, I think 2 more, game day call-ups from the practice squad. So maybe you promote an offensive lineman or you promote Davis, call up the other one there. You will see Davis active on game day again this week. I can pretty much guarantee that. But we'll wait and see if it's from an active roster standpoint or just the practice squad call-up. Been a lot of Cowboys videos for you guys the last couple of days here between trades and practice squad signings and oh so much more. But that's what we do here at the Cowboys Report. When news happens, we break it down. So if you haven't already, please hit that big red button or the black and white button. YouTube's changing their design, their interface. It might not be the red subscribe icon anymore. It might be a black and white text bar instead. Either way, click it. And make sure you have those notifications set to all. That way you don't miss out on any video right here at the Dallas Cowboys Report.